Good morning. My name is Alondra Vega. Censorship, the plague of American public school English classes. In today's society, it is more common to read a bland book that reaches no depths in the soul of its reader than to read a book that will formulate ideologies that can create an active member in our society. Censorship is defined as a suppression or a prohibition of any material considered objectionable. Banned books equals banned ideas. Many books have been banned because they openly express ideas about racism, the LGBTQ community, and sexuality. Is this really protecting students from troubling scenarios? No. It is forcing them into a narrowed vision view of the world. In the United States, according to the American Library Association, 29% of the books banned contained issues. Wow. How are students expected to go out in the real world and be informed if they haven't been taught real-world issues? Not only that, it'll be so overwhelming to be in a nation that is so diverse if they haven't been exposed to a variety of scenarios. 24% contain a non-white main character, 18% an LGBT secondary character. Not all Americans are white, straight individuals. Not all U.S. citizens walk around in cowboy boots and hats. This is a false truth imposed onto students. Over 5,000 books have been challenged in the past 8 years. The top 3 reasons have remained consistent. The books are sexually explicit, use offensive language, and or are unsuited for the age group. In 2016, half of the top 10 most challenged books have been banned because of the LGBT content. Now, for a nation that advocates for equality, this is horrendous. How, as a nation, are we going to advocate for something that we don't express in our own classrooms? Students are the future of this country. Students that do not understand equality will be detrimental to society. 30% of book challenges occur in schools, 20% in the school libraries. This is something that is so upsetting because these books have the potential and could play a monumental role in the healing of the afflictions of society. This belief is supported by Ebony Elizabeth Thomas, an assistant professor and a member of the National Council of Teachers of English. In her article, Is Huck Finn Still Relevant? Revisiting the Case for Conflict. She argues that the role of English educators is to guide students through the reading and interpretation of stories, both fiction and nonfiction, that help us bridge our differences. Sadly, this is not the same belief that is shared by everybody. Parents. Parents are the main initiators of these challenges, as demonstrated in this graph from 2000 to 2009. For instance, To Kill a Mockingbird, along with The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, were both removed from public schools in Accomack County, Virginia, after a parent filed a complaint about the use of racial slurs. She claims that by using these texts, we are validating that these words are acceptable. However, schools are not advocating for the use of these words. They are merely just meant to come and allow students to have a different perspective on a topic, to open their eyes to the reality on different topics. Instead of completely banishing a topic and removing them from school curriculums, schools should and can be more inclusive of parents when it comes to what is planning to be taught in schools. This will make parents aware, and this will help them make decisions accordingly. If schools keep students in a fishbowl, it'll only prove to be a hindrance later on in the student's life. As illustrated here, this student is completely appalled by the fact that Miss Sweet Story's book has been banned from the school library. To what his friend responds, maybe there are some things in the book that we don't understand. This receives a comment from their other friend that says, in that case, they should also ban my math book. And I think that students should all question book bannings and that they should be aware that there is unequal representation of topics. What questions might you have? Thank you.
sources that you used, and then how did you know that they were?
The majority of the percentages I got in the charts that I put in my presentation were from the American Library Association, and I believe that they're a valid source since they are the ones that, one, all their information is in America, and they're the ones that would know about this.
All right, and if you had more time, what additional research would you conduct related to this issue?
If I had more additional time, I would have looked at the long-term results of censorship, such as the psychological impacts of it on students after they leave schools.
Cool, thank you.